Hey, this is Danny from Scare Talk. Before we get into all the horror greatness, I gotta let you know about Anchor. Anchor is the host site that we use to record our podcast. Anchor will upload your podcast to Apple and Spotify and many other listening platforms. Anchor is completely free, and you can download the app or go to the website, anchor.fm, and you can record straight on there. There's also some cool editing tools that you can use. Did I mention that it's free? Yeah, so if you want to make a podcast, Anchor is the way to go. Go check it out. Now, for the spooky stuff.
Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Okay, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny, and I'm here with Jittery Joel.
Hey guys, what's up?
And we have a special guest today. We have a podcaster himself, director, and metal band frontman. This is our friend Jay.
Hey, how are you?
Hey Jay, thanks for coming on.
Hey.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, so today we're going to discuss Prince of Darkness, which is what Jay requested for this episode. Mm-hmm. But before we get into that, I want to know a little bit about you and let the listeners know about some of your projects, you know, what you're all about.
All right, thanks. Let's see. I realized I wanted to be a director or a filmmaker watching TV shows and movies growing up in St. Clair, Michigan, small town. I was kind of raised by the punks in Port Huron, which is kind of like 20 minutes away from St. Clair. We kind of dubbed it the dark hippie movement. A lot of horror movies, metal, some miscellaneous drug use. I started filming little clips with whatever I had, like horrible Sony Handycams or just the worst type of stuff before everything started to get better technology-wise, like VCR tapes. I used to have this, it was my bass player's, but he always let me borrow it. I had a he had a camcorder that had the VHS tapes right in it, so I would always take that around and film. And I film movies now, and I have a few short films, and I love the 80s aspect so much that I purposely put in glitches and VCR lines and stuff like that, just like my own personal tribute to the 80s.
Okay.
It's kind of my thing. Let's see. When it comes to my very first, I guess you could call them Crimson videos. I pretty much started Crimson videos in 2006, when me and a group of friends started filming my first one, Green Hell, a J. Crimson film, and wrapped it up in about 2008. Okay. I was sitting on all this footage, and I finally found a partner to help me edit it and make it into a somewhat watchable 48 minute film.
Oh, wow.
Abstract, trippy horror movie. I wanted it to kind of start confusing and end understandable, if that makes sense. Like, kind of like you're having an acid trip.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't put out until 2013, and I had a couple screenings, and people came out and watched it at like a local venue, and it was pretty nice. Something went well when people are like, "Oh God," in certain spots, and I'm just like, "Yes, that's what I wanted."
That was the point. Yeah.
Yep. So let's see. In late 2008, probably early '09, I joined a metal band that was starting to form. And we, with one of my best friends, Dave Kelsey, and his buddy Aaron Schumann, and we changed the name to No Class Assassins, and my other best friend Chris Stotler joined shortly after, and we love that heavy hard rock, heavy metal, hardcore, and I like a lot of hardcore punk and a lot of that metal stuff too. And it was funny. Our friend Jerome, who we practice in his backyard, and in a barn, but in his backyard. And he was like, "You guys should try opening up for the Misfits." I'm like, "Dude, we just have like 5 songs, and I don't know if we're quite ready for that." And he's like, "Well, here's the number." He kept pushing it because he knew they were my favorite band. He's like, so I called, and they're like, "Well, I guess we'll put you on right before them." And I'm like, "What?"
Wow.
I'm like, "What? Right before the fucking Misfits? Are you
Right?
kidding me?" And I was like, "We just started." I was like, "It's what I wanted, but that's a little soon." And we played it, and it was awesome, and we got rid of a bunch of demos, and it was sweet. And then after that, it just kept growing. We opened up for Misfits, Goat Whore, Guar, Green Jelly, Suicide Silence, Crowbar, I Hate God. We even won a Battle of the Bands to play Warped Tour 2010.
Cool.
Wow.
We won an award for Best Independent Hardcore or Metal Song. And then we got signed to Hellfire Records, which is a small label out of Lansing, Michigan. And that was in December of 2019. And then COVID hit. So then we weren't really able to do too much since, but we'll be recording something new shortly.
Cool. Yeah, I went on Apple Music and saw you guys on there. Listened to some of that, and saw you had some music videos as well on YouTube.
Right?
So yeah, you guys can go check those out. We're definitely metal fans as well, me and Joel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Over here, Joel doesn't live in Sacramento anymore, but
Not anymore. Yeah.
over here we have the Aftershock Festival.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
Okay.
But
That sounds familiar.
it's like hard rock and metal, kind of like a mix. And Misfits actually headlined one of the days, and it was just last month. And I was there, so that's funny that you.
Badass.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned them. Wow, that's really cool. You guys have been able to open for some of those bands, Suicide Silence, and those are some big names there.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Misfits and I Hate God guy, so I love all the NOLA metal bands from New Orleans, and they're like a big influence on me as a musician. So
Cool.
that and a lot of hardcore punk that's where it is for me. The Exploited, stuff like that.
What do you play, or do you just sing?
No, I just sing for No Class, but I can play the drums, kinda. I can play doom drums, let's put it that way.
Okay. Cool. And
That's really cool.
you have some movies. Oh, go ahead.
I start to lose some of my talent. Sorry, I start to lose some of my drumming skills if it gets a little too speedy. So it's doom drumming for Jay.
Right. Just yeah.
Gotta just keep that rhythm. It's like, not too
Yep.
fast, but
Yep, I'll lose it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm pretty good on the drums on like Rock Band or
Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
Rock Band.
Yeah, one of those. I can
Oh, yeah.
I can do the hard level.
Nice.
Talk to a real drummer. That's the same, right?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Rock band.
So, what are you up to these days?
Well, three of my short films got picked up by Troma Entertainment recently. I don't know if you've ever heard of Troma movies, Lloyd Kaufman and all that from New Jersey.
Okay, no, I have
don't
not.
think I've seen any of the movies, but I definitely have heard of Troma, for sure.
Right, Troma does the Toxic Avenger movies, and they do the Class of Nukem High. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is on there. Just crazy off the wall, like low budget horror comedy stuff. It's not all horror comedy. Some of it's just straight up horror, like Mother's Day, but they're usually twisted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I felt right at home. That I have been working on a series of short films. I have one that I started with the lovely Mandy Mahan from Port Huron, and we started a brand together called Defiant Deviance, which is just we take video clips and videos revolving around dark romanticism, witchcraft, things of that aesthetic. And we have a film that we're working on that doesn't really have a title right now. It kind of got put on the back burner, but I think it's going to get brought back up here soon. And I have a few surprises for people who love the horror genre and people who are longtime horror fans. And hopefully it'll be a big payoff for me. Just with people digging it and stuff like that. Of course, money's always good, but you take what you can get, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. You also have a podcast, correct?
Yeah, I have a podcast called the Crimson Cult Podcast, and that is on the Anchor FM, which if you use Anchor.fm, that app will put your podcast on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and Google.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
That's what we
I've been
use.
doing that.
Here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I've been doing that, trying to get more guests lined up. I do it old school. I just, I actually haven't used Clean Feed, and I think that would be pretty cool because this seems way better.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right. I just have an app that records the phone call, so I'll go somewhere where I get good signal with the phone and, talk to someone that way.
Right.
But this seems way more convenient.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
It's been working for us.
Yeah,
So
especially
Not,
because me and Joel, when we started this show, we lived in the same area, so he would come over to my house and we would just record at my house. But he moved to Idaho, so now we do it this way. So we were able to keep it. Yeah, we were able to keep it going by doing it like this. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool.
yeah,
Yeah, it's, I mean,
I've
quality-wise, it seems like it's the same as if I was like there with them. So
Right.
It's been nice.
Oh yeah, that is good. I've had, let's see, Ari Lehman on my podcast. Do you guys know who that is?
no,
He played the very first Jason Voorhees in a Friday the 13th movie.
Oh, okay.
okay,
He-
nice.
He's the
Our
one
Friday
who
13th
popped
fans are
out
gonna
of the
hate us
water.
for not knowing that. Oh, okay.
But yeah, I talked to him. I had a archbishop who has performed multiple exorcisms on my show.
Oh, dang.
Oh, wow.
That was a pretty cool one. Just anything
Actually, on your
extreme
show,
really
or-
is. Yeah, I talked to him.
Yeah.
Talked to him, and he told me about that. I only have about 31 episodes, but I plan to make many more.
Yeah, so I think Joel was asking, did he perform an exorcism
Yeah.
during your show?
Oh, no. Sorry, I'm a pothead.
That would have been awesome.
Definitely a stoner you're talking to.
All right. Well, cool. It sounds like you're up to a lot of good stuff there, and hopefully some of our listeners will go and check out your band, look for your films, and your podcast.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It's youtube.com/killyourboss69. That's where you can, back when people were still adding sexual references to their screen names.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've had it for a minute.
Nice. All right, cool. Okay, so let's get into Prince of Darkness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joel, can you tell us who is a part of this one?
I can. So this one stars Donald Pleasance. He's the priest in this one. He is in The House of Usher, Vampire in Venice, and Escape from New York, as well as Halloween. But we've covered him plenty of times on this show because of the Halloween series.
Yeah.
Victor Wong. He is the Professor Howard Birak. He is in Big Trouble in Little China, in all 4 of the Three Ninjas movies.
Okay.
Which Three Ninjas, way back in the day, was like one of my favorite movies.
Nice.
He was in
like
Tremors too.
8. Yeah, that was the other one I was going to mention. Tremors. We have Susan Blanchard. She plays Kelly. She is in Adventures in Babysitting, TV movie. They Live, which is another John Carpenter movie, and Ruskies. I don't know anything about that one, but
Okay.
this was written by John Carpenter. He wrote Ghosts of Mars, They Live, and Black Moon Rising. And this was also directed by John Carpenter, who directed Village of the Damned, In the Mouth of Madness, and Christine.
All right.
Another director we've talked about on the show.
Yeah, many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're having to dig into some of the films we haven't mentioned yet.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what because in the beginning I definitely talked about his most the work that most people would know him for.
Right.
So I had to remember what I said before and
Right.
try to think of something different.
All right, cool. Well, this one is about
myself.
it's about a group of graduate students and scientists who uncover an ancient canister in an abandoned church, but when they open the container, they inadvertently unleash a strange liquid and an evil force on all humanity.
Oh man.
Yes. Okay, so Jay, when we decided to have you on the show here, I asked you what movie you wanted to review, and this is what you chose. Why is that?
So this movie, I feel, is one of John Carpenter's underrated classics. This movie freaked me out when I was a kid, and it definitely added a different element to horror for me. When it comes to paranormal aspects, demonic possession, stuff like that. And the liquid embodiment of Satan was just whoa.
Yeah. All right.
And this was actually part of I think John Carpenter, what he called his Apocalypse trilogy.
Yep. Mouth of Madness, right? And this and The Thing?
Yeah, the Thing,
Yeah.
Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, this definitely has the John Carpenter signature all over it.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning, you can tell with that score, the atmosphere, you know, the tone that the movie's going for right away, and it goes all the way through the movie. So, Joel, had you seen this before?
I had not.
Okay.
I just actually watched it today.
Okay.
So it's very fresh in my mind.
All right.
So yeah, it's definitely, I definitely would say, I mean, I have heard of this for years, but I would definitely still say it is underrated, one of his more underrated movies.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not usually the first thing that people go to when they talk about John Carpenter.
Yeah.
That's like maybe the middle
Right.
of his movie collection that he's done. But it's definitely not one of like even the first 3, I wouldn't say. And so it's, it definitely does have his trademark, it definitely has his John Carpenter-ness all over this movie for sure. I really enjoy the music in this.
Me too.
Yeah, it is a real. I really enjoyed this movie. I will say that.
So, I just wanted to say, Donald Pleasance, in this one, he I haven't seen too many movies with him in it, other than the Halloween franchise. And watching this, and maybe it's just because I've been watching the Halloween films, I don't know. But I was like, this is Loomis. Like, just some of the stuff that he said, some of the lines,
down a little bit.
some of the lines, were a little Loomis-like. And I don't know if it's just like his delivery of it or whatever, but that's all I could think of when I saw him on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if that's
For
the only
sure.
thing that you know him from, which,
Yeah.
which like 5 movies worth of Donald Pleasance, then yeah, I mean, any role after that you would just see Loomis for sure.
Yeah.
Unless he just went completely in the opposite direction in a movie, which I haven't seen too many of his movies either. So that's gotta maybe look into some of his other horror movies that he's done.
Yeah, maybe some of the earlier ones, because this is '87, so this is right in the thick of all the Halloween stuff that he was doing. So, yeah, even his look and everything was pretty much the same.
It was Loomis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a few other things that I really liked: the lore, the whole mystique of this liquid, and once it's opened, what happens to all these people. The whole possession piece to it was really creepy. That was really well done. Some of the makeup effects was really cool with that one lady laying in the bed and how she was just like changing as she was laying there. That was awesome. That looked really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the effects and makeup department, like, they did really good job with this movie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Especially
Demonic possession via satanic fluids.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a first. I don't think I've seen that in any other movies. So that's
Which is
different.
Kind of
Satan
interesting
news.
because the AIDS epidemic was at its peak when this was released. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So the transmissions throughout the movie was kind of like a little too close for comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Okay, so something I wanted to ask about, and maybe Jay, you can help me out. So I've been sick recently, and so maybe my head's in a cloud or something. But what was going on with the dream stuff? I was a little lost on that.
Right, the dream. Yeah, see, I know that they wanted it to seem like they were all having the same dream, like the end of the world is coming soon because of this liquid. So they were all, it was kind of like Satan wanting to be reborn.
Oh.
And he was going to be reborn through somebody. And when that main character guy goes through the mirror,
Yeah.
it's kind of like it kind of turned it into her. Like she went through the mirror, and he was like trying to get back to her, of course, because he dug the girl. You know what I mean? He was into her, so he was reaching his hand back to see if it would do it again. But that's when they cut out the dramatic ending.
Right.
But the part with her, because they hint at a dark figure coming through the doorway of the church.
Yeah.
But they don't show her until the end. So it's like, okay, so now Satan's reborn through her.
Okay.
And everyone was having that dream because it was just a haunting them all. You know what I mean? That's how I took it anyway.
Okay. Okay. So it was almost like a premonition or like some sort of vision that they were all having of this to come later.
Yeah, that's how I took it at least.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and then the mirror thing. So that's some of the, like, I guess, negative stuff that I would say about the movie is just I was a little confused. And,
right.
It's not supposed to be just, flat out explained to you. So I understand that. But some of it I was like, okay, what's going on? I'm not too sure what's happening right now.
I wish he was successful with bringing him into the real world from the mirror. I was kind of like hoping that she was gonna accomplish that. She's like reaching her hand into the mirror to like bring in. I'm assuming Satan.
Yeah, and you could see his pointy fingernails and stuff.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping she was gonna be successful in that.
Yeah.
But
It'd be funnier if it was Leslie Nielsen as Satan.
That'd be great. That'd be a different movie.
yeah.
Wentworth?
This would be instantly
Wentworth.
a comedy.
The Naked Gun and Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Got a little appearance by Alice Cooper in this movie, though.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I actually have a fun fact about that. Did you know that John Carpenter was at a WrestleMania event and met Alice Cooper, and that's where they talked about the impaling scene?
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. Is that how he got in
And
the
that
movie?
was, yeah, and that's because Alice used an impaling scene as part of his stage show at that time.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I thought that scene was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was creepy too, like the homeless outside just kind of staring in, and it's
stairs.
Like, yeah, those stairs. Like just something as simple as that. Like I feel like John
Eyes.
Carpenter does that. So
I feel
well.
like, yeah, for sure. I feel like when he has eyes in the dark, it's a creepy thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does that well. Does that with Michael for sure.
Yeah.
I thought there was decent acting in the movie, but there were some sketchy parts, I guess.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
I mean, it's an 80s movie. It's not going to have, like... 80s is known for their gore and their bad acting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this one did have some of that, but it wasn't nearly as bad as, like, the majority of those slasher movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
Right. I was pretty believable.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It was actually better acting than Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
To me.
Yeah, I agree.
I would say the only weak actor would have been like the Asian guy when he's in that like closet or whatever he's in that little area
and he's
where
like,
he's
help!
yeah,
Yeah.
He's like he starts freaking out in there. Yeah, and they're like digging on the other side. I'm like, wow.
That was a good tension builder.
It was, yeah. And I feel like that's, what this movie is, that like claustrophobic tension building with the music, with the tone, with just the content. It reminded me of The Thing a lot with just that constant build of tension, and they're in this one isolated place and they can't really leave. Mm-hmm. And it's just this impending doom that's coming.
Yeah, I like the movies that take place in either like one room or one building, like an isolated area.
Yeah.
That's, all hell will break loose in. So
right.
I like those types of movies. So
yeah, me too.
The budget for Prince of Darkness was $3 million. It was shot in 30 days.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Nice.
That's crazy.
I gotta.
I mean, even like that's for a horror movie in the 80s was pretty good, I think.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
I mean, considering horror movies today are like maybe 20 million.
Yeah.
For like a good horror movie. I feel like in the 80s 3 million was pretty much in that range. So that was a pretty good budgeted movie.
So what was I gonna say? Oh, I haven't seen In the Mouth of Madness, so now I gotta watch that because I really like The Thing. I really like this one. Would you say, Joel, you've seen In the Mouth of Madness? Yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
No.
Okay.
So that's definitely we were planning on doing like at some point like all of John Carpenter's movies and all of like Wes Craven's movies. That's definitely going to be up there.
Yeah.
Probably one of the first ones I want to do is that one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Would you recommend it, Jay?
In the Mouth of Madness?
Yeah.
Yes. I when I first heard about the Apocalypse trilogy, I didn't really grasp that at first. I didn't know about it until way later, so I didn't make that connection. It stands out among the three for sure, I think.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, Jay, we typically rate the film at the end here. And
Okay.
And then I have a couple more questions for you after we do that. So, let's go ahead and give it a rating. We kind of do a percentage up to 100, so, go for it. What do you think?
Let's see. A percentage. So, 100 being like the best movie ever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm going to say... Mine are kind of... I always rate things a little differently. And whenever someone asks me to rate something,
Yeah.
I automatically see the bracket system in my head. Based on what? But as a movie as a whole, I'm going to say anywhere from 85% to 90%.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
And that's based on just my personal taste in films, you know? And I think it stands right up there with Halloween, in all honesty.
Okay. All right, Joel, what do you think?
I'm going to give this one the year it was made, 87.
Oh, all right. So right in the wheelhouse there with Jay.
Yeah. So it was a good movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So
Cool. Yeah, I'm going 82.
all right, all beats.
I gave Halloween 98 or something. That's my favorite
that
horror
was like a
film
near
ever.
perfect movie.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But yeah, I really did like this, and it really kind of solidified John Carpenter for me, because I was like, The Thing I really like, Halloween I really like, Christine is pretty good, and I've seen some other ones, but then this one I was like, okay, he's kind of going up the list. He might be my favorite.
Nice. What was your guys' favorite part?
I liked when when she completely changed, and the makeup effects with how bloody her face was, and just the whole scene with when she comes to be, I guess, Satan, and just everything from then on was awesome.
Yeah,
Right.
this movie kind of felt like a zombie movie as well. Like they were basically turned into like these walking dead people that were attacking them too, which I enjoyed that aspect of it as well. Something we didn't talk about in this review, but it's it definitely it could also double as a zombie movie.
Yeah, it
really
could.
So
Like Evil Dead kind of.
It was kind of
deal.
yeah, not as gory or anything, but yeah.
Yeah.
Was that your favorite part of the movie? How it was like that?
I was honestly thinking about what Danny was saying too. Like that was the scene that came up in my mind before he started saying it. So yeah, I would probably say the zombie aspect of it. Like I wasn't expecting like kind of a zombie-ish movie from a John Carpenter director. So I like that.
It was kind of like reinventing before zombie movies even really were fully out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there were zombie movies, of course, but they were still in the middle of them, all the zombie craze when this came out. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. My favorite scene is when that one character leaves and turns into bugs in front of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, pray for death.
Yeah.
That part freaked me out.
When I
was a kid.
There's some real, like, just, you didn't expect that to happen,
Right.
So, definitely a unique film. I'll give it that as well. Never seen anything quite like it. And, even with demon possession, we kind of, that's like just every other movie these days, it seems like. But, so it gets kind of old, but even this one back in 87, it still feels fresh.
Yeah.
Right, and this movie was John Carpenter's kind of his return to horror, because he did, before this he did Big Trouble in Little China, and after this he did They Live. So he was kind of right in the middle.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, pretty positive reviews all around.
Yeah.
So before we go, Jay, I gotta know, what did you think of Halloween Kills?
Ooh, that actually reminds me that I was supposed to something fell through, but I was supposed to have who played Michael Myers? James Jude Courtney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was supposed to have him on my podcast, but something fell through.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
so
man.
I told him, well, just when everything cools down for you, because I know you got a lot of shit going on. I didn't know he was trained in martial arts.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he was telling me about that. We had a short convo, but nothing podcast worthy, you know.
Right.
And Halloween
Man,
Kills.
yeah,
See,
Love to have that guy on.
the fact that it's kind of a part 2,
Yeah.
and it's in the middle of this trilogy. I think it was a damn good part 2. I feel like they got a lot of the action stuff out of the way. Well, not out of the way, you know what I mean, but
Yeah.
because we always want that. But all the action in part 2, so that 3 has more of a good closing story.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to surprise us with something that kind of goes off in a different direction.
Jamie
but
Curtis did
Halloween
say that
Kills,
people are going to be mad. So with the ending,
right? I think that I think it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was so kind of different in its way that I watched that thing 4 times already, 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I've seen it 3 times.
It has some good kills too, and he's like a fucking evil ninja in this movie.
yeah,
Yeah, especially that last scene with how he was just slicing people up after he was supposedly killed. Yeah.
Oh, I have one more fun fact about Prince of Darkness.
Oh, okay.
They did most post-production editing and the soundtrack mix at Disney Studios.
Oh wow,
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's funny. I was going to say the Tower of Terror, but that wasn't there then, so never mind.
Right?
Okay, so overall you liked Halloween Kills?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. I could see why people would be like, but I don't think they're thinking about there's going to be another one.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, this is the
And I
middle
feel like
chapter.
it was a great middle chapter in my opinion.
Yeah.
yeah. It was. So originally the plan was to have it be all 3 movies in the same night. But I'm glad that there's going to be a 4-year jump, because I don't want to have Lori in the hospital for a 3rd movie.
Yeah.
For another movie. So this gives
Good call.
her, this gives her enough time to like heal up, and so that we get Lori in all of her glory, all of her greatness.
Good call.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about it because I know it's been a hot topic of debate for a lot of horror fans over the last couple of months. And
well, on Facebook it has been. I don't know about like the real world.
well, yeah, I don't know. On Twitter, online, people have been, either giving it hell or loving it. So I was wondering where you stood. It sounds like you stand with us. We enjoyed it as well. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love that they had the old nurse in it, and I like how they had the Lindsay character all grown up in it.
Yeah.
Actually, her too.
Yeah.
She's
Yep.
I think the only one that didn't come back was
It was Tommy, right?
Tommy. Yeah.
Yeah. The actual actor himself.
Yeah.
Right.
The original little boy.
Yeah, all the callbacks and stuff were just totally for the fans. So I think.
Oh yeah, the
That's
masks
why.
from Halloween 3.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
A lot of fan service, which is good with me.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, you guys got anything else to add before we close out here?
Yeah, I'd like
Okay.
to give somebody some props. Justin
okay.
Thomas Squires. Justin Thomas Squires at Dark Forest Media. He does all my music scores. He has a creepy ambient project with music called Master Toad, and it's what I use to blend tracks to fit my films. And we've worked together on every film. He's also done the music video for Depression by
Okay.
No Class Assassins. He did that music video, and me and him worked on it together. But he's very good artist, and he does short films, and he is a photographer, and he likes to travel, and he does a lot of cool stuff. But without him, my movies wouldn't be as good, for sure.
Okay. Awesome.
All right,
Well,
nice.
yeah, check that guy out. Is there, did you give a website or a link for that?
Let's see. I have a lot of stuff on Facebook.
Okay.
If you go to my personal page, which is facebook.com/noclassj, you'll see I post a lot of my stuff on there. Just
Okay.
in case people don't see it the first time around, I always post a few other times. And facebook.com/crimson videos has all of my short clips and stuff on there, or if they're not there in their entirety, you can check them out on youtube.com/killyourboss69.
Right. You got to get that out there again.
Yeah, and I have a site for a Facebook page for the podcast, and that's facebook.com/the Crimson Cult Podcast. And the band, which No Class Assassins, hopefully we'll be recording some new stuff soon. I think we're about to go into the Schwank and record some stuff. That's where we have been recording most recently. So we're working on a 5-track EP, maybe a secret song. And you can check us out, Bandcamp, noclassassassins.bandcamp.com, or facebook.com/noclassassassins.
All right.
Nice.
Sweet.
All right.
All right. So, yeah, go check them out. Jay, thanks for coming on. This was fun.
Yeah.
And thanks for introducing us to this awesome film.
And thank you
Yeah,
very much for
yeah.
having me on your show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
It's a blast.
All right. Well, this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the no-class assassins bite.